Oh, hey folks, welcome back to Ours Automotive. Now, I know it's been a long time since I've uploaded, but this one's worth the wait. So, when I say premium hatchback, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Not a Tata, right? Well, they want to change that, and with the Altroz, they're going all out to do so. So, have they succeeded in changing that? Let's find out. Now, talking about the exterior of the Altroz, the very first thing that catches your eye is the projector headlamp. It's very sleek and very sharp looking. Right below that is the fog lamp and the DRL. Now, one of the reasons for this sharp look is something called laser look used by Tata. It makes the overall car's design very sharp and very attractive to look in person. Another thing you can note is that there's very good amount of piano black used all over the car, above the headlamp, on top of the grille, the side view mirror and stuff. Now, taking a look at the side of the vehicle, you can see it's very proportionate and very well balanced. It has this very nice design going overall. It's very pleasing to look at. And as you can see, the headlamp, there's a slight chrome touch over there as well. Now, another thing to note is that this might be a subtle thing, but the washer placement is very cleanly placed right below the bonnet. Even the wipers are very neatly placed. Now, the variant I'm reviewing right now is the XZ, and right next to that we have an XZ Plus, which has the optional black roof. Taking a look at that, we can see that Tata's used laser welding on its roof, just like how VW uses it, and it's given the car an overall much more cleaner look than usual. Now, coming to the side of the Altroz, there's something that's very different from all the other cars. The side indicator is back on the fender. Now, looking at the mirror, piano black and finish with a touch of chrome. Now, there's a housing below this. It might be for a 360-degree camera, but I'm not sure. Now, the piano black you see below the glass is called the Comet Shoot design. Whatever it is called, it looks brilliant in person. And then we have the 16-inch dual tone alloy wheels. Again, it fills up the wheel arches perfectly, not too big, not too small, and overall it looks very sharp. Now, coming to the back, again piano black. Tata's used the dual tone perfectly over here. Now, on the top you can see that just like on the Tiago, it's got the extra arrow wing like fitment over there, and the tail lamps as well, very sharply designed. It looks really brilliant. And as you can see, the Altroz badging over there. Now, coming down, you can see the parking sensors, and the parking camera also very well placed. Now, opening up the boot of the Altroz, you're welcomed by a 345-liter boot. Now, for a hatchback, that is brilliant. And it's very well shaped. Although the opening lip is a bit high, they've given a scuff plate like thing which is scratch resistant and doesn't hurt the paint on the car. The parcel tray that's provided has a hook, so you can attach it to the boot lid so that when you open it, it lifts up as well. Now, to get into the Altroz, it has a smart key system. So as long as the key is in your pocket, you can walk up to the car to lock it and unlock it. And it has a welcome function, so when you unlock it, the wing mirrors unfold to welcome you. Now, opening up the doors, these doors do open at a 90-degree angle to allow more access, easier access into the vehicle. You can see that it's a very well finished cabin. The seats are quite big and supportive and have this dual upholstery finish, fabric that is, on them. And if you look at the door pads, again, they're very well finished. It has the armrests have this fabric finish over them to make it comfortable when you're resting your arm over there. And the tweeters and speakers are very well placed. Now, once you're inside the Altroz, the design isn't as dramatic as the exterior. That's the very first thing you understand. But then again, everything is very cleanly laid out and everything has a good feel to the touch on them. Everything is in the right place, like the stocks, and the steering also looks very sporty. Now, the thing that I immediately felt when I sat inside the Altroz was the comfort that the seat provided. It was very, very good. Now, looking at the instrument cluster of the Altroz, it's a 7-inch LCD display right next to an analog speedometer. And the LCD display has the RPM as well as a host of MID functions, a lot of them, some of which I will be scrolling through right now. Now, coming to the infotainment system, it's an 8-inch display. It's a touchscreen display, that is, and it's made by JBL and Harman together. And the very first thing we're going to look at is the ambient lighting, because that's one of the most advertised features by Tata. And even on this very bright and sunny day, as you can see, the ambient light lights up all the areas it is in, that is the footwell and around the island inside the interior. As you can see, there are a host of settings inside this touchscreen system, and you have everything that is your vehicle setting, whether you want park assist and stuff. You can even change the theme of the entire system, but for that I had to switch on the car, which I couldn't inside the showroom. You can even set your climate control from the touchscreen, but don't be afraid. You don't. It's not limited just to the touchscreen. There's a separate physical climate control system right below the system. Now, the overall usability of this touchscreen was good. It was slick. It was very smooth, unlike some of the other cars that I've used. And it's an 8-speaker system, so that's 4 speakers and 4 tweeters. It's got Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And to be honest, I'm very much impressed with the system by Tata. It's really nice and really smooth. Now, coming down, we can see the physical controls for the automatic climate control, right below which we have the 12-volt socket and the USB and aux support. And then we have a 5-speed manual shifter, right below which we have the economy and city drive mode selector. So when you press that, it shows what mode you've selected with an audible chime. So there's this woman inside saying eco mode activated, city mode activated. It gets irritating after a point of time. Then you've got the sliding front armrest, which has no storage below that. And overall, I'm very much impressed with the space that the Altroz has to offer in the front seat. It's brilliant. And one more thing to note, that is the horn pad isn't the center, it's on the edge where your thumb rests naturally. So that's again a brilliant design by Tata. Now, to get into the rear of the Altroz, the door handle is in a very new position. I mean, if you've not seen the Swift and the Beat, but this is much more easier to use and feels much more better and premium. Now, the seats have been positioned in such a way that they offer the least amount of space in the back. So you can see this is the least amount of space there will be. And yet, I, a 5'11" person, sat inside comfortably. I moved the seats to my driving position, and this is the space I had left. And sitting 3 abreast will be a breeze inside the Altroz. And if you're just sitting 2, you've even got an armrest to make it even more comfortable. The headroom is also brilliant. And as you can see, this is the rear door pad. Again, it has a fabric finish on the armrest, very comfortable. Rear AC vents, again, a major win. The XUV 300 doesn't have them, but kudos to Tata for providing it in the Altroz. Now coming to what powers the Altroz, what I have in front of me is the 1.2 liter Revertron Petrol 1.2 liter 3 cylinder, which puts out 86 horsepower and 113 Newton meters of torque. The other option is a 1.5 liter turbocharged diesel 4 cylinder, which puts out 90 horsepower and 200 Newton meters of torque. Both are BS6 compliant. So the question I asked at the start of the video, has Tata finally made a proper premium hatchback to take on the big guns like the Elite i20 and the Baleno? And the answer is yes. Tata has finally made a proper premium hatchback, and it has a few flaws, but they've done an excellent job. The variants of the Tata Altroz are the XE, that's the base most variant, the XM, the XT, the XZ, and the XZO. Now, the XE, XM, XT, XZ, all four of them get packs that are fitted at the company, which is a brilliant thing done by Tata. So you can take the mid model, the XM, and add a pack called the Looks pack or the Rhythm pack, and it replaces the normal stereo for a 7-inch touchscreen, which I've shown in the video. That's a good move by Tata. Now, you've probably been wondering why I've not talked about safety in this entire video, up until now that is. That's because the Altroz completely changes the expectations we have from a premium hatchback. The expectations we had from a premium hatchback were, it should be brilliant to look at, it should have a long feature list, it should be comfortable to drive, it should have a very good interior and stuff. The Altroz did all of that and added in a 5-star safety rating from the global NCAP crash tests. Again, Tata, kudos to you people for doing that. And all of a sudden, every single person in India wanting to buy a premium hatchback suddenly wants a 5-star rating for the car that they're buying. And not only that, ABS and dual airbag is standard across all the variants. You have height adjustable seat belts and isofix anchorage for your child seats. And along with that, Tata also provides something called CSC, that is Corner Stability Control. Now, starting off with the flaws of the Altroz, there aren't many. So the first thing is pretty obvious, it has no auto variant. There was a rumor saying that there might be an AMT variant, but that turned out to be fake. And then there was a rumor that the DCT variant, that's a dual clutch transmission variant, was coming up. There's no solid news on whether Tata is planning to do a DCT or an AMT or even a CVT variant of the Altroz, but an auto variant is likely to come up very soon. The other thing is that it has no auto dimming inside rear view mirror. A 2013 i20 has an automatic inside rear view mirror, so I'm not sure why Tata chose to skimp on that. The rear seats do not split and fold, so they don't have a 60-40 or a 50-50, they just fold completely flat. For some people that might be a deal breaker. And the steering only adjusts telescopically, not for reach. So again, to find your perfect driving spot, it might be a bit more difficult. Overall, all these flaws are here and there except for the automatic one, which is a big one in 2020. The rest, everything can be looked over. Now for my final verdict on the Tata Altroz. Instead of giving a long, lengthy speech on how the Altroz is the best hatchback but with flaws, I'm going to do a simple thing. I'm going to give it points. So let's start with the design. The Altroz is brilliantly designed. I mean, when I was at the showroom to take the video, there were people who came to see the car just because of how it looked. They didn't even know anything else about the car. They just wanted to check it out because of its design. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Next is practicality. And it is very practical. It has a 15-liter cooled glove box. It has plenty of storage for all the knickknacks. There's even a dedicated umbrella holder in the door. So for practicality, I give it a 4 out of 5. Now drivability. I got to drive the 1.2 liter petrol. It was brief, not very long, and I can say it's very decent to drive in the city. The gearbox is smooth, it isn't notchy. The clutch is also very light and it felt comfortable to drive. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 here. Safety, there's no question. Even the global NCAP people gave it a 5. So who am I to give a lower score than that? 5 out of 5 on safety. Now value for money, the most important part. Prices start at 6.2 lakhs go all the way up to 8.9 on road Chennai for the petrol variant, and they start at 8.1 and go all the way up to 10.7 for the diesel. Now the diesel variant is expensive compared to the petrol. There's almost a 1.7 lakh difference there. But overall, when you compare the petrol variant's pricing to say the Baleno, it is cheaper. So I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 on the pricing. And that brings the grand total to 19 out of 25, which is good. Now a special thanks to LAKSHMI Tata Chennai for helping me record this video. Mr. Ashok over there is a great person that helped me a lot while recording this video. He even arranged the cars inside the showroom so it's easier for me to record. So if you guys are planning to go and check the Altroz out in person, I'm dropping their contact details below in the description, so do check them out. Thank you so much for watching this video. It means a lot. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and if you have any queries about this car or any other car, drop it down in the comment section below. See you next time.